Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. First, I want to go ahead and say happy Halloween. I'm so sad that it's over. This is literally the only holiday that I like. I just feel like since COVID, everything's different, obviously, and we really can't celebrate things the way that we usually do, or at least I'm choosing not to, just out of sake for safety for my family and all that stuff. I'm pretty sad that Halloween's almost over, but I'm excited to share this birth story with you today. Today's birth story is a hospital birth by Emily Griffin. I will be reading her birth story as well as sharing videos from her birth. I'm super excited to share this Halloween birth story with you. Emily is 25 and she gave birth on October 31st in 2019 to her little girl, Lacey Jo, which is an adorable name. So let's get right into her story. On New Year's Day, I decided that I wanted to get pregnant. I obviously threw my birth control straight in the trash that night. Funny thing is, a couple months before that, I had actually threw it away a couple of times, but got scared and grabbed it back out. This time was different. I was emotionally ready. It's super important to realize when you're ready and when you're not, and I kind of feel like I really like that Emily planned for this and prepared and got ready and took her reproductive health into her own control and did things when she felt completely ready. That's so important, and I love that for her. It was something that I wanted so bad. Weirdly, it made me depressed in a way I just can't explain. Anyway, I had a period at the end of January, and I remember sitting on the toilet having a panic attack, just bawling my eyes out. This seems totally normal when people are trying to conceive, to get some sort of sadness or depression around the fact that they're just not, testing positive or becoming pregnant yet. I think that that's so normal, and it might seem weird, to you, if you don't talk about it to others and kind of see, hey, yeah, other people are going through the same thing. I mean, it doesn't take away the depression, but if you're in that situation, I think that it can make it less lonely whenever you talk to others who are going through the same exact thing. And I know that it's really hard to talk about our feelings sometimes because it seems weird, but it's not. Everybody experiences different kinds of emotions around all sorts of things, so definitely find people to talk about those things with if you're going through something like that. So in mid-February, when I missed my period, I was so happy. I took a pregnancy test literally every day that week. When the pink line started to show, I was even more excited. Being pregnant definitely had its ups and downs. My legs and feet would swell up bad. That was definitely the worst part for me, and the heartburn was terrible. The best part was the way my husband would look at me as I got bigger. He always wanted a baby. Oh, that is so sweet. When Lacey would get hiccups, move all around, and stretch, it was the best feeling ever. I worked all the way up to the day I gave birth. I called out of work that day because I was having what I thought were maybe contractions. So kudos to these hard-working moms who literally work up until the day that they give birth. I just wanted to take a moment to let Emily know how awesome she is and how powerful birthing people are. I was texting my friend and told her what it felt like. I asked some questions and she told me I was in labor and to get my butt to the hospital. This was around 8 a.m. I never thought I was in labor before that. I then called my doctor. They made me come to the office, and that really pissed me off because by then my contractions were getting worse. They checked me and I was already 5.5 centimeters dilated. The car ride to the hospital was terrible. I was very uncomfortable. I got settled in my room. All my stuff was there. Then the doctor checked me again. Right after that, my water was broken. It was now 10:30 a.m. Riding in the car with contractions is probably my biggest fear. I don't know why. Whenever I was planning for my home birth, I considered having a birth center birth, but what made me reconsider that was the car ride. I just did not think that I could tolerate a car ride. So to all of the birthing people out there, riding in a car, driving far away, or even 5 minutes away with contractions, oh my god, major props to you, because that's my biggest fear. The nurses got me all cleaned up, and then it was the waiting game. I put my house robe on and went out in the hallway with Krista, who's her best friend. I went to school with this girl, and Krista and her have been best friends for so long. So me and Krista danced and laughed and walked as much as we could all the way until I reached 8 centimeters. I also spent most of my labor on the toilet, and I can remember that all I wanted to do was have sex. That may be TMI, but whatever. My contractions were getting heavier. I love that Emily was so open and honest with this one, because toilet labor is the best place to labor. It opens you up, especially for a first-time mom like Emily, her labor seemed to go pretty like quick. Going about your day as normal as possible I think really helped to me. So I like to encourage that with birthing people if I'm talking to them or supporting them. And I really like that she labored on the toilet, and I like that she liked it, because some people find toilet labor really uncomfortable. But I mean, some people find their groove there, and that's awesome, and that's totally an option that you can utilize anywhere you're giving birth. Hospital, birth center, home, wherever. Also, I wanted to comment on the sex part. That's not TMI. You totally have to have sex to make a baby, so nothing is TMI for me. If you guys haven't heard of orgasmic birth or having an orgasm while in labor to help with contractions or to help get oxytocin flowing, look that up. Look up orgasmic birth. It is a thing. Some people do this. Yeah, so I like that she brought this up so we could kind of talk about that. The moment when the nurse and doctors and my mother-in-law knew it was time for me to push, I started to get nervous. Everyone was rushing around the room. I had 3 people in my room. She had her husband, mother-in-law, and BFF. Then there was the doctor and 4 nurses. All the people made it overwhelming for me just because they were doing so much at one time. Being overstimulated and overwhelmed, it really sucks when you're in labor. Sometimes when we feel unsafe, our body may be like, nope, you're not gonna push right now. Nope, you're not having this baby until you get safe and comfortable. But Emily still labored and continued to give birth. But I just wanted to comment on that. Some people do best with less people and in private and just going on about their day like I did, and I called my midwives like last minute. Some people do well with a crowd. Like, we're all totally different. But in this case, it was overwhelming her. And I think that it's awesome that she noted this and was so self-aware to realize that, yeah, she needed like less people in the room. Once everything was settled, I was high up in the bed. It was time to start pushing. Everyone was calm and helpful, and it was now 4:30 p.m. Being able to give birth naturally was so powerful. Right now, Emily is kind of on all fours, or really just her knees and kind of hands on the bed. I like this hospital so far. And I like that she's mobile. I like that she talks about the toilet and dancing and walking around, and she is in all different kinds of positions. There was this girl in the room. Every time I looked at her, she had the biggest smile on her face, and for some reason, she was my focus point. I couldn't have done it without my mother-in-law, though she was telling me to keep pushing, keep going, don't stop, and telling me exactly what I needed to do. Oh. So her labor started at 8 a.m. and it is now 4:30 p.m. So I just want to make note of a few things. That she had a focal point, Emily did. I think that that's so cool that she remembered that and was aware of that too. She had someone that she looked at the whole time and helped her, you know, stay concentrated, focused on laboring and the contractions, and maybe even take her mind off of some of the sensations that she was experiencing within her body. So here you can hear everyone saying, come on, you can do it, and they're all encouraging her. I love hearing about helpful and encouraging family members and providers and nurses, the birth team being empowering. I love that her mother-in-law was encouraging her the whole time and she had a great experience. I pushed for 21 minutes and I was so tired. The overall worst part about giving birth was the stitches and the aftercare for them. I didn't really think much about having a Halloween baby. I just call her my boo baby, and I love that everyone I know whose birthday is the day before or after wishes that it was on Halloween. I've always wanted to have a Halloween or October baby because I love this season. Again, it's my favorite holiday. I don't like any other holiday really, but I still celebrate them for the kids, if that matters. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. This is one of my favorite birth stories, mainly because of the season, but also because I loved how supportive Emily's birth team was. I loved how educated Emily seemed to be and how aware of her body and surroundings that she was. I'm just glad that she mentioned that in her birth story. I love how Emily trusted her body, had a wonderful and empowering experience. She felt powerful. She had support. I appreciate her honesty even when she kind of thought it was TMI, because all of these are really important things that not a lot of people talk about and we should talk more about, like orgasmic birth, feeling weird about things, just feeling overwhelmed and this, that, and the other. People just think that birth happens to them, but in reality, you can be in control of your birth, and it's important that you feel comfortable and call the shots in your birth, that you validate how you've been feeling, because how you feel is super important around your birth experience. I'll probably always say this, but the outcome isn't the only important thing about your birth. Experience matters too, just as much as the outcome. Happy Halloween! Thank you for watching, subscribe if you'd like, and I'll see you next time.